Okay, hang on. So this is the last part of percent. The video's now running. So this is the last part of percents we're going to talk about, and then we're going to move into some, a whole nother section of math, which exponents and stuff that many of you have been exposed to, but there's more to it than what you've been exposed to with exponents. But for now, we're going to talk about percent of change. We already know how to deal with percents in an equation. I mean, like, find 20% of something. Of means multiply, right? 20% of 0.2 times whatever, right? And we know how to find simple interest, and we know how to find if somebody's yearly amount of money that they made with either percent. I mean, if they were paid via salary or via commission. We've learned all that stuff. The last part is percent of change. And percent of change indicates it's a change, right? I'm sorry, go ahead. Percent of change indicates that there's going to be a change, right? So, meaning we're going to have an original amount, and then we're going to have a new amount, right? So, wouldn't you agree with me? Sometimes the original amount, let's say the original amount, we'll make this our first problem. Our original amount is, let's say it's 50, and then the new amount, we'll say it's 70. All right? And we're being asked to find the percent of change. Would this be a percent, percent of increase, or would it be a percent decrease? If the original amount is 50 and the new amount is 70, would that be an increase or a decrease?
Increase.
An increase, right? So this is called percent increase, okay? So this would be an increase. So it's important to make note of that increase, right? It's an increase, all right? So I like sometimes, percent of change is an increase. I like to put a little arrow here to just tell me that it's a percent of change increase. Now, the percent of change formula, well, first of all, let's talk about what this is. Percent of change is basically measuring how much a quantity increases or decreases with respect to the original amount, okay? So we're wanting to compare the new price, or the increase or the decrease, with the original amount, okay? And so this is the formula, percent of change, and this is a shortcut. You could say percent of change. That's kind of the way they do it. Equals the amount of the increase or the decrease over the original amount. It's really pretty simple. So but the thing is, how do you figure out the amount of increase or decrease? How much did this thing increase? How did you know? What did you do? Yeah, you did 70 minus 50. You take the bigger number and subtract the littler number from it. Doesn't matter which one. If it was a percent decrease, you still take the bigger number and you subtract the littler number from it. So, if I was going to do this, I'd say the percent of change. I figured out that it's going to be an increase, so I like to put an arrow to tell me that it's an increase. Equals amount of increase or decrease. So, it's 70 minus 50. I take the bigger number minus the littler number. And then on the bottom, I just put the original amount, the original number, which is 50. Okay? So we know 70 minus 50 is 20 over 50. So that's 2/5, right? And then if I get out my calculator, 2 divided by 5, right, equals 0.4. Oh, I guess I could pick that up in my head. But anyways, so the percent increase is 0.4, okay? Which is, I've got to turn that into a percentage, right? So it's going to be boom, boom. So it's going to be 40%. With me?
Yep.
Right?
Is that it?
And that's it. It's so easy. It's so easy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You're just subtracting. You first decide, is it an increase or a decrease? That's the first thing, right? Original amount's 50, new amount's 70, that's definitely an increase. So you know it's an increase, so then you're gonna find it. You're gonna just take the bigger number minus the little number over the original amount. That's it. It's very, very straightforward, very, very easy. Okay? And so, now, can I erase this? This has to be in your notes because tomorrow, after class, I am collecting your notes.
Yes!
Everything that I have on the board has to be in your notes.
Oh no, don't erase it.
If you want to get an A on the test, your notes count as a test, right?
How big is going to be affecting your grade? Wait, hey Gary.
It's going to affect your grade significantly. So be sure you write down everything that I put on the board. Yes.
What's the
It has to be all the notes this year because I lost my notebook and I got.
I'm only counting them based on when I told you about
It's the
this.
6th.
Oh, what if you weren't
Okay.
here?
Because we need to put the
Then, yeah,
date
so you need to get copies of them. So if you were not here, so Rowan, this affects you as well. If you were not here, then you're responsible to find somebody who has good notes and ask permission to copy them. And so what I can do is, if you come to me after class, I will go over to the copiers and copy some of these notes for you. You've got to find that person. Make sure it's somebody with good notes, right? That you can read. That makes sense to you. Okay? Can I erase this?
No, not yet.
Guys, you need to be writing this.
I am.
All right. So I'm gonna write down. All right. So I guess I'll just do another one right here. Okay. So here's the original amount, and here is the new amount. Okay. Original amount we'll say is let's see, 120. And the new amount is 95. Is that a percent increase or a percent decrease?
Percent decrease.
Percent decrease, right? So now we got to figure out, well, what is the percent of the decrease, okay? So the percent of change, and in this case it's a decrease, so I put my down arrow, is equal to, I'm going to take the bigger number, 120, minus 95, and put it over the original amount, which is 120. Okay? So what is 120 minus 100 would be 20. 120 minus 95 would be 25, right? So I've got 25 over 120. All right. So now I get out my calculator. I got 25 divided by 120 is equal to 0.2, we'll just say 0.208. All right, so I have to turn that into a percent, right? So the percent of change of the decrease is 20.8%. Right? I just moved the decimal place over 2 places. 20.8%. It's pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah. Is that all?
That's all. That's all you have to know for
Wait,
percent.
that's all for the homework.
And so the homework tonight is going to be, there's going to be a few problems on percent of change, and then there's going to be a few problems on simple interest again, just to practice, okay? I think most of the simple interest are a little easier because the time is often given in years. But I think there's one problem where the time is given in months, and you'll have to convert it to less than a year, a fraction of a year, right? And I'm going to let you guys work on the homework today, and then possibly, depending on how much time we have, if people are close to done, then maybe we'll do some whiteboard or something. We'll just see. So I'm going to let you guys, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. You guys all feel you understand simple interest as well?
Yeah.
Pretty comfortable with that?
Uh-huh.
All right.